And here we are, into Inferno, the start of this best-of-3 series between Iron Blood and Detonate. I'm Boggs, joined by Pineapple Phillips. Double dualies on Detonate. So 4 pistols across 2 players. And, well, I love the dualies, Nate. I've loved how they've become a pistol meta. Makes me very, very happy. 1 in halls, 1 at sandbags, and a 4-man stack towards B to kick off the round from Detonate. A very aggressive B posture. And this might be the right call. The pistols peak, but Droid and Intra have the entries 2 for 1. Will favor the T's, and Brett, playing very aggressively, gets tagged and barely dashes around the corner to stay alive. Player hiding in Darkroom has to be the linchpin. Florence has to do it all. Florence swings out for 1, hits the second headshot, no bomb plant just yet, but Indra holds around. But a moment later, Brett swings for the trade into the 1v1. Snav has a chance to pick up the bomb, put that down on dirt. Cryptic has armor behind those dualies, and Snav has a lot of time to work with, playing this clock to perfection, waiting to see if Cryptic pushes with the timing. Could just go against the Iron Blood player. The Glock is out. No chance to plant just yet. And Cryptic doesn't have to make a move until the plant is sounded. I believe there's a kit down as well. Actually, wait, there might not be a kit. I don't see the X-ray around it.
No kit. Detonate's double dually super soldiers took the place of the kit. This was a battle of attrition. And Cryptic, he doesn't spot the bomb. He doesn't spot Snav. He could get paranoid and try to rotate towards A, but he's holding it there, and that's the right call. Snav walks into it. That's a quick headshot. The first shot accuracy on the dualies does prove to be deadly. Very well done to rein things back in spite of the early losses. That's a nice solid start for Detonate on their map pick.
That's a good start for Detonate on the CT side as well. They do lose 4 players, but it doesn't really matter. They don't let the bomb go down, and that's the most important part. Also, Cryptic doesn't need to buy a helmet, or a full armor. He only has to buy the helmet. That'll help him get the M4A1 out. So we'll get to see that in action very early after the nerf. I won't really call it a nerf. I'll call it a proper adjustment to a gun that was a little bit busted. But it's just Glocks up against them. Iron Blood not investing anything at all, and I think this is a good call. Don't need to spend the money, no bomb plant. Just get your AKs on round number 3 and roll with it.
No trifling with the force buy. Smart call, conservative call, expected call without the bomb plant. Micro just spotting for the MP9. Brett an opportunity to harvest some cash here. He should get cleared shortly, but only blocks the opportunity. 1, 2, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Droid finds 1 in Intra, a second. It's 2 for 1. Somehow the Glocks make it work, and now they're going to stampede their way more to the site. Florence is going to watch the cross. Again, 1 for 1. MP9 for MP9. Bomb recovered. Bomb will go down, and Detonate tried to set off the round in the T's favor. Your Cryptic, the A1S you mentioned before, much more difficult to use, though, in the retake here. Especially with the MP9. Support, flash in, Cryptic taking point. These players have no Kevlar. Slim pickings, or easy pickings, I should say. But 1 for 1 again is the name of the game. MP9 trades it out and leads it to a 1 versus 1. Freshie now in the clutch. He finds the kill. Snav didn't snag a gun and therefore can't snag the round. Detonate again, pulled off by the most tenuous of margins. But again, that does not instill confidence. Losing 4 against quite literally Glocks.
No armor, just Glocks. If you're Brett, you need to get 2 from mailbox there. At the bare minimum, get 1. But 2 is probably your expectation against Glocks with no armor, with an MP9. Micro should have been able to do more than just that 1 kill from top car. It was that point where everything just spiraled out of control, and now it forces a full investment out of Detonate. Iron Blood, all the utility they need because of the bomb plant and those extra kill rewards. The MP9 got at least 1, so that's extra money for the Iron Blood side. Florence has gone for a glass cannon off, and he's going to have to make this count. The Molotov is smoked, but he eats an HE around the corner. Snav with a spray. Florence goes down. Still 2 more around, making a lot of noise. This banana control Detonate is not it.
Potentially
it's 3 rounds in a row. It's been demolished.
Yeah. Will wisely back away before all is lost. They still have a 3rd on the side and a smoke to at least buy some time, but Detonate, their lines are worn thin. Freshie and Cryptic have no real choice but to double up in hopes of a rotation back. Brett, holding towards CT spawn, will just spot. He has no utility left. He has to try and spot and harass on the entry. Shane not even going to hold for the rotations. He's going to group up with the squad. At this point, Iron Blood's main focus is making this a clean take and a clean victory. Famasa Brett, slingshot, will try to go for a timing, gets one, spots the second as well, team kill, maybe an opportunity now for Detonate as Brett does get away, it's tied up, 3 versus 3, bomb will go down, and there is a kit present for Cryptic along with 2 M4s in the wings. We do see Freshie with the A4 as well, interested to see if he can hit that spray. Brett again spamming, again harassing while his teammates rotated, and he's doing so much good damage. Shane down to 32. The Molotov will compel him forward, but he does have support at this point from his teammates. Time, though. Time is becoming the ever-present factor, and the utility is delaying long enough. Dare down low. It doesn't matter. He wins the duel. Freshie and Cryptic, though, nice double. A pair of trades, and Freshie the other kill as well. No kit, though, on the CT player. He should have enough time, though, and again, that is now 3 rounds in a row. The Detonate have won with only 1 player surviving.
And does Freshie get the op for Florence again in the next round? No, he doesn't. Doesn't pick up the kit either. And with a bomb plant, Iron Blood can buy up again. That's the problem when you surrender the bomb plants. That is the problem when you keep one alive at the end of the round, too. The fact you can't buy. Freshie's going to be on an MP9. Everybody will have rifles, but utility is going to be very sparse. They don't have the op. They do get a couple of kits here, but it's not the kind of buy you want to have if you are Detonate. And something has to be fixed about that banana control. Even though they've won 3 rounds in a row, almost feels like it's timeout territory to fix whatever's going wrong. And they're going back to it. Aggressive banana presence once again. The nade stack, it's got Dare down to 9. And that is the best start for Detonate. They don't take any damage. They do a good amount in return. Yes, it is onto the op, but it still makes a big difference in the long run. Maybe, just maybe, they make the right adjustments.
Good play. Didn't overstay their welcome. Just went for a little bit of harassing utility, as you should on the CT side of Inferno, might I add. And then fall back from there. This difficult investment for Detonate could prove fruitful here. The MP9 boosted up on an unorthodox angle. 3 players stacked up towards the truck side. Snav gets the information. Freshie falls away. These players are looking to swing. His teammate just tries to bait in for his Cryptic, just holding his nerve. It's so dangerous here. Freshie's the one that wins the duel, though. Nice one to find, and if he falls here, he might just bait the T player's response. Coming in, he won't get so lucky this time, but there we go. Cryptic strikes, gets one, dances around, does get traded, but still, it leaves his team in a favorable situation. Dare and Intra, both incredibly low on HP, a combined HP total of 28, and they still have a lot of control to gain if they want to go towards this A site. Full rotation has come through, although Micro will spot towards B. What can they really do at this point, Iron Blood? They have a smoke, they have 2 flashes, they don't have time to work with, and they have 2 players who are so very low. They do have the luxury here. It looks like Brett might be rotating around, and they get Florence. Not with the first. Florence one on the site. He's dancing around, buying time. A second for Brett. Droid, he trades onto Florence, but he has no time. 5 seconds left. He's just being danced with, toyed with by Brett. No time for the plant. He'll go for it anyway to get a little bit of extra cash for himself. Will he survive? That's the question. Yes, he shall. Micro doesn't force the issue, and Detonate take their 4th, sure, but again, another expensive one.
Another expensive one. 4 rounds played, 4 rounds where Detonate survive with 1 alive. No bomb plan for Iron Blood means it's probably going to be a half buy around this. Droid will have the rifle because he saved it. That was a good disciplined play by Micro not to go for the full hunt. I'm surprised Micro even attempted it because if Micro dies, it gives Iron Blood the economic advantage here. Even still, 2 M4, A1, A4s, the MP9. Tech 9 blitz up. The MP9's mopping up 3. Maybe a 4th as well. The reload allowed. Cryptic with the flashes coming through from Brett and Micro. Able to farm. It's a flawless victory for Detonate against the Tech 9 Banana Rush. The flashes are key. They're critical. They're clean. And that is the first fully confident round taken by the Detonate side. And I believe this forces a timeout out of the side of Iron Blood. It does indeed. They've lost 5 in a row, and that one, the most strong and confident of them all.
This is where things can unravel. This is a very timely pause from Iron, but it's been touch and go. They've been on the cusp of breaking the economy time and time again. And then, as they have 2 players forced investing, might I add, they had that 1 saved rifle on Droid. They had a second AK and Kevlar bot up, dropping the player down to $50 left in the bank. They find nothing. Absolutely nothing. They get shut out of the round. And so now they need to make their own adjustment. Things were working to a reasonable extent before. In that round, they most certainly were not. Iron Blood, they're going to go for the investment. The loss bonus is firmly theirs at this point. It has been for quite a while. So they will invest into 3 AKs, good utility, a Galil, and a MAC-10. Detonate. A little bit of a bonus with those MP9s as well. Save the team to Aron. More or less even buys, all things considered here.
And the MP9 very lethal on this map because of the close range duels that can be taken, i.e. this Hall's possession that Detonate are taking right now. Banana up close half wall as well, very good for the closer range weapons. Florence supporting, making sure his teammates, yeah. I like this this angle from Florence to make sure his teammates don't get backstabbed. And the solo B kind of works in the situation because you just need a spot, really. Utility can hold off very well on B, although I think they're dumping it a little too fast. Unless there's utility drop for Micro to use. Might have to run all the way to CT to grab. Here comes the actual pop. Florence, so much damage. Running away. Does get the running headshot. And a lot of damage onto the second. In comes Brett for the trade. 2 for 1 in the favor of Detonate. Time on the clock. Does favor Iron Blood. They do not have to commit to the A site. But it seems they are ready to go through the gauntlet. Brett, can he get more? Got the lineup. Knocks down 2 more. And make it all 4 he needs. Nice work from the latest addition to the Detonate roster. That is 6 in a row now to Detonate on their T side. And remember the pregame talking points about Iron Blood. 1, they picked the T side start on this map. 2, it is by far their superior half. 57.3% win rate. 1 more round for Detonate, and it's pretty much out the window for Iron Blood's chances to even achieve that.
Yeah, those stats, keep in mind, they're not only old and outdated, but they're also pre-nerf. The CT side for them is going to get even tougher. There's no A1S meta anymore. It's gone. That's why we're seeing the A4s here. And I also want to highlight both those MP9s getting upgraded in that last round. That really sets up a very solid and astute CT economy. Brett's looking to harvest once again. 1 on Banana. He's sticking around. He won't overcommit either. He'll fall away and play with his teammate Micro. Smart call. And Detonate looking incredibly comfortable here. Again, didn't really look to be the case in the early goings, but ever since they won that clean round, they look much better. Swing comes in, a nice combined fire moment from both Micro and Brett, shuts down the Banana play, and Snav now alone, 44 HP, 1v5. Sure, Brett is low, but beyond that kill, what can he find? Answer's not much, more than likely. He'll just bide his time, hopefully go after the smoke, but a second one is thrown in his way. Less than a minute left, he's stuck. Player pushing in Banana, almost got the timing, perhaps the headshot at range, but it was not meant to be. So now he just slowly gets chipped away. There we go. Florence caps off the round, and Detonate continue to pull off flawless victory at this point, 7-0.
That was 4 rounds in a row at the beginning where they had only survived with 1 player. Freshie's defused without the kit. To get them that 4th was barely even there. It's been a nail-biting start for Detonate, but then after that round 5 mop, they have looked confident, they have looked composed, they've been picking together and with utility, which has really been stymieing anything Iron Blood has had to throw at them. And Iron Blood have not really been able to showcase their own firepower, which I think is the biggest issue for the squad right now. And oh, Shane gets lucky, gets timing on a Cryptic, trying to fall away from the boost. Freshie expected up top, and Shane has wiped away the early A presence. Florence now around the barrel. He goes into the open. Shane doesn't fall. The A side is open. It's a save round of the first on the board for Iron Blood here. There should be no retake attempt from Detonate at all. So we'll just wait for the timer to tick down as the bomb makes its way lethargically towards the A site. Micro and Brett will save what they have, but luckily for Detonate now, they have built up some money. And it's not too much of a concern to drop this one at this stage.
No, it's not. They'll have that extra buffer they need, but keep in mind the economy, even more demanding. We've talked about, it's been a constant talking point for years now, how difficult the CT economy is to manage. That was during the A1S meta. Now players have an extra $200 tacked on. That nickel and dime is what makes it so difficult. So they'll have to really dip into their funds. The funds, sure, they're bounteous now, but they might not be in a round or two. Especially with that A4, that extra $200 as I mentioned. Bomb will go off. Micro though. Here. He'll drop the off. Maybe a second. He does it to spray. There we go. Some good A4 knowledge there from Micro. Brett's close behind as well. 1 and 2. For a third on the card. The third found.
It's the
It
op.
was going to be a massive round for Iron Blood, a boon to their economy, and instead they lose everybody. The op goes to detonate, and what feels like their first round on the board is instead a hollow victory as a result.
Yeah, now let's look at their buy. Intro with only a smoke, Snav no utility at all. Dare and Droid sacrificing the AK for the Galil and extra util. Shane the only player with anything in terms of utility. This is a disastrous ready to win around for Iron Blood now. And what seemed like, okay, cool, they finally got something on the board, better late than never, just turns into a bit of a disaster, something to forget. The spam from Brett, a little overzealous on the spray control after using the A1S for how many years has it been so strong now? It maybe seems a little bit unruly, the A4, a little bit like a bucking bronco. But still, it's some good chip damage onto the first player down Banana. Droid, though, very close around the corner, gets the timing, sprays down the first. The Coffins player, Micro, sprays down Snav. In the meantime, tagged down to 11 HP, has to fall away. Bomb should be able to go down on the B site. And Inferno is a map where a lot of times teams like to save on the CT side after surrendering that bomb plant. We'll see what the call is here for Detonate, as the rotations are a bit pensive all the way back in CT spawn, and Florence has still not left his library.
Very scared about that flank, that rotation watcher. No one is going for that kind of play though on the side. They're all on the site proper. Instead, two holding towards the coffin, one dark and one banana. Good setup for this team side, but that won't stop Micro. He'll find the opening despite being on 11 HP. In front, Droid though combined fire up on the trade onto Freshie, and now these players stuck behind the smoke. What can they really do? Time's becoming faster. Micro with a P250 finds one. Intra and Droid though answer back very quickly, and Micro, he can't pull off the clutch. He'll do lots of damage with that A4, but he won't secure the kill. And so Iron Blood, they string two together. Very well done from them, but again, still touch and go. The only real saving grace here is the fact that Detonate are close to being broken in terms of economy. I say close, but they're still going to be able to scrounge together a rather astute buy.
Yeah, they'll be fine. The op saved really helps out this round because Florence can get the op with all the fixings around that Thanksgiving dinner. Everybody else will have utility as well. Freshie still has 3,200. Could buy Cryptic here. We'll see what they want to do. It's an Iron Blood timeout again. Not satisfied with the way they're winning rounds. That retake, very nearly potent. And Iron Blood probably trying to chill out a little bit more too, because they're going to want at least 6 out of this half now. I think 7 probably is going to be a little more desirable for a team that seems to be so heavily stacked onto the T side on this map. Then again, playing a little more defensively is going to be better for Detonate, or for Iron Man, excuse me.
It definitely is. Droid, though, he's been off to a stellar start. He's the one who started off that block round. He found the double kill, not even an assist from his teammate on that second round, if I'm not mistaken. He's been finding entries with consistency as well, but now it's Dare's time to shine. The op not expected to be a star on the T side, but it'll find 3. Droid the 4th, and it's just a quick unraveling of the rounds. Detonate, they decide to duel Banana again. We talked about it being a sore point in the early goings of this first half, and it is a sore point here and now. It's just Florence the op we mentioned before. A hefty investment now stuck in an unwinnable situation. A flank coming through rather quickly as well from the likes of Intras on a timing here. I don't think Florence will have it. This should be a nice final kill for the T side of Iron Blood, but will it Intra? Not really pushing the issue of timing. Everything Florence isn't watching for it. Nearly a missed spray, but Intra will rein things in, and Iron Blood really beginning to come alive here. This time it is a flawless victory, and the CT economy is reset to boot.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that banana fight against guns, especially after losing 2. Sometimes you got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away and when to run.
Running through smoke.
They had multiple opportunities.
Yeah.
Then op, AKs, I mean, they had the information. There were a lot of players there. After that those first engagements go awry, it's safe city. You got to stay alive there. Nice kills coming on the anti-eco here from Iron Blood. A nade kill as well. Micro does get 1, but it's a small victory there. And that's 4 straight in the row for Iron Blood. Starting to get a little bit stronger into this T side. Detonate can buy up again. But their banana control here is going to be another key point to watch. Do they go for the fight again? Do they overextend again? Do they give Iron Blood an opening? Because that's what they're doing with those banana fights most of the time throughout the course of this game, has been opening up the door for Iron Blood and saying, come on in, the B-side's open.
The B-side's been where all the action is. Absolutely all of it. The only two players above 100 ADR on this CT side are Micro and Brett, and they are the two stalwart defenders on this site. 142 for Brett, I think 111 or something similar for Micro. If they fold, the round is more or less a wash, and they've been tested every single round. Micro going to retake utility. Will they act upon it? I don't think so. Trying to buy space here. Snav looks like a boost up for the op here, and he might just find the opening. As a result, he spots the player. Walking in, spotted him as well in kind, and he finds the kill instead, crouching under the smoke. Very well done from him. A bit risky, but it does pay off in the end. That is a critical opening to find for the CT side.
That's a big opening, plus the damage on the snav makes it a little bit more winnable. That's how you do it. You get your pick, you fall away. If you don't get your pick, you still fall away. You don't give extra openings you don't need to the opposition. Detonate, they still have these two players here. They have to know Micro is in the vicinity of U-Box, though, and Snav and Intra completely wipe away the B-side defense. They got caught in the open. Good flash over the top from Droid. That's going to be a save here from Detonate. 4-player hold on the B side is not going to be contested at all. And that's 5 straight now for Iron Blood. I think it's timeout territory for Detonate. And I have to wonder why they didn't at least float a rotation speedway. Because have Iron Blood faked once? I don't believe they have.
They have not. I don't think so, at least.
I haven't seen them fake. They either full commit or they just slow it down and then go again.
They show a lot of B pressure at the start of almost every single round as well.
A pressure at the round's end of the day.
The one, I think, they went A, I think, twice at the end of the round. One of them was the one they outright opened things up and then lost all of their players, and that was a round won by timing and timing alone. They caught Cryptic as he was boosting up. In the traditional sense, right? There's another boost you can do from the barrels where you aren't exposed. That probably would have been the better play. From there, they expected a freshie up top, and then Florence was caught behind the barrel over towards the hay cart. Iron Blood, if they can pick apart around like that again, then they should go towards A, but again, they're still so comfortable trying to go towards B, and Detonate, they aren't going to stack again. They're going to just show pressure with 2 players here. Again, the same 2, the stars, Brett and Micro, sure, but you would think, given the number of times that we've seen the early B pressure, they would go for the stack. Instead, it's not going to be the case. They're just going to throw the op over Florence and go for the 2-person setup once more.
I don't hate just having Brett and Micro pressure because it gives a lot less incentive to overstay the banana control. I think it gives them more of an incentive to, hey, we got our peak, we threw our nades, let's go away from this so we don't lose the B side again. I think they kind of got caught in a little bit of timing in the last round too. They were in the open, Micro and Brett both. Brett on top of the boost, Micro behind, not even behind U-Box, but just out in the open. And the flashbangs were perfect from Droid. Both players were blind. It's just, I think Detonate's timings are a little bit off too. Iron Blood have been catching them on timings a good amount of the time. And now they go dry in. Now the flash comes through. It doesn't matter. Florence has picked up one, but Dare through the smoke has traded this back. The A1S of Brett will find Intra into a 4v3 in the favor of Detonate. Brett has ammunition, but taken down by Droid, clearing out the back of the site. 3v3 will be a retake, and Freshie is all the way towards Banana, but Dare rather is watching. Going back and forth between the 2 angles. Has to be careful not to get caught out here. Dare should go back to Banana soon. Should go back to Banana. Cryptic shows, though, had utility in hand. No chance to counter the op. And now Dare backs away towards Banana. But he's got Micro beforehand. Freshie now to the 1v3. Catches Dare looking the wrong direction. Has to charge up. Has a nade. Has a kit. Dare made the wrong direction. Headshot by Snav. 6 in a row for Iron Blood. Op recovered for Dare. And Iron Blood now looking more and more comfortable. The holds have not been there from Detonate. They look a little sluggish in rotation as well. And again, I rehash the point. Iron Blood have not faked. They have not shown presence one way and then gone the other. The entire 13 rounds we have played this map so far, they go where they show face. And the fact is, it's working.
It's working. The support player of Droid has found so many entries. There's no reason not to. Seems wherever you send him, he will find an opening, an opportunity, and This round should be another quick one for Iron Blood as well. As you can tell, it's pistols, some moss for Freshie, and a mag 7 for Micro, and that will at least find an opening. But the round, I'm not so sure. Droid, it's been hot. He's walking forward. Mag 7, though, might be his match here. Yes, it is. Nice shot from the mag. A second from the mag. Dare will find a trade, but the damage has been done.
Oh my gosh.
Pistol as well walks through the smoke. It knows the gravity of the situation. It doesn't want to overstay its welcome. And now Florence will get boosted up as well. The last two players of Iron Blood, somehow this sprint, this dominant form from them has been stopped by a Mag 7 and a FAMAS.
There's a term for the Mag 7 play there, Nate. It's the phone alone session. Micro makes it work. They don't clear flowers. They don't clear the boost. And Florence is good for the one he needed. Intra does not clear the graveyard, but sends Brett down the river Styx regardless. Time on Intra's side, but HP far from it. Freshie and Cryptic have to go together. If they go alone, they give Intra a golden opportunity to win this round. Intra has to make the play here. Moving around through ruins. Cryptic hits the body shot. And Detonate will at the very least claim this half by virtue of a half-buy victory. And Micro messing around with the mag.
One more round in the half, though. Either A, Iron Blood make it a remarkable comeback, all things considered, given the early goings, or B, Detonate do reestablish a bit of a lead going into the second. Ops for both teams again. Dare has actually done quite well for himself on the T side with the big green. It's been touch and go, but specifically the round that broke the CT economy is the one that really made me believe. On 3 kills on the players rushing through the smoke, trying to force the issue. Held his nerve there, and of course shutting down the retake the round before last as well was a big one. See if he has more impact in the final round of the half. Intra finds the opening. Brett and Micro, a double nade in response towards Banana. We've been talking about the Banana utility, and this round really shows how potent it really is. A nice pair of kills to swing things back in the CT's favor, and to send to Iron Blood packing for the first time this half over towards A.
Yeah, this is the first time Iron Blood are not committing where they've first shown face. So they're going over to the A side here. Up for Florence will knock down the next peg. There's still 2 left standing. Intra and Dare, they have been good. There's only 2 players to clear up on the side, but the rotation of Brett is coming forward. Dare looking for the first spot. Might catch the player on the balcony. Goes on site first. Florence. Cryptic is the first. Cryptic looking for the next. And Cryptic will find them both. That's going to be a 9-6 half in the favor of Detonate. We'll see you after the break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Detonate going ahead and stopping the bleeding at the end of that first half, bringing it back to a respectable scoreline of 9-6, but still, it's a far cry from what it could have been. A stellar start stymied by the likes of Ironblood. On Pineapple Phillips, joined by Boggs, and you're here now with the second half. Ironblood, on theoretically the easier side of the two, though, their stats tell us a different story. They are expected to be better on their T side, and given their scoreline there, things should only get more dire as this half progresses.
But they are a team that has not played an official in over 30 days. So that is a long time to not have played an actual map of Counter-Strike. Scrims are one thing. Actual official games are another. Fade away towards the A side from Detonate here as the Glocks are starting to run back towards the A side. Snav is rotating around. It's been read well by Ironblood. They have the banana control. Smoke could just force everything into contention. Freshie goes through and he goes down, but Cryptic and Micro trade this one back. Snav drops through, but he only gets one. Now the two rotations both coming in through Library. Very easy to silence, but that nade does soften them up a little bit more. Deep plant from Florence here, but it is a pit plant. The only problem is Glocks, not exactly, wait. Micro, I think, has a USP upgrade from Pit. That makes it so much more viable. Yeah, Micro's picked up a USP in there. Makes that plant so much more viable here, Nate. Shane and DARE do it all. No kit here available, and no headshots forthcoming. Shane down low, and finally he fells. All down to the dualies. He's blocked one. Sprinting around for the second, line for the third. DARE's got them all. And it's the dual Berettas that shine tall. That's a nice little bit of dually work from DARE. Has plenty of time for the defuse. But Detonate, they've got the bomb, they've got 4 kills, they're going all in here.
Makes it a bit of a melodrama with those dualies. That is the skin name, by the way. I had to throw that in there, fit it in there. And now, we're going to see Ironblood go for the investment. Of course, DARE, not hurt for cash, 3 kills on the dualies, and of course the defuse means he'll go for the A4 and utility. Detonate, though, with that bomb plant, they'll at least get to go for a 4 spy. Make this one a rather scary one for the CT side. 3 make that 4 Galils, and a Tech 9 with utility versus 3 MP9s, a FAMAS, and an M4 for the CT side. Kit present as well. I think there should be. Brett, though, is the one to find the opening. It's duels towards Banana, and that's a nice start for the T side. A clean start as well, with only a bit of damage taken.
Don't think there was a kit, Nate. Unless Droid had it, but I don't see the X-ray outline, so I don't think there is a kit. I think they went full armor, and that is something that could very much come back to bite them. Also, I don't understand the aggressive banana play when you know the other team's on a full buy. Just sending one player down. That's... you don't need to take... That's a nice timing from Snap, but it only finds 1. Florence will take the upgrade there. That's Galil for everybody now. That's damage by Brett onto Cryptic. What? Brett? I guess he's seeing through the Matrix, because that's a laser beam to the smoke.
And that should cement the round. It's going to be a save. 3 versus 4 might have been doable given the weaponry, but a 2 versus 4, certainly not. The M4 will be recovered by Shane. He'll drop his SMG, and Intra has an FAMAS, as well. Those are 2 very important weapons that pretty much have to be saved if they want to stand a chance in the following round. Detonate. Very well done on their 4 spy, taking the duels towards Banana. Winning the duels rather cleanly as well. As I mentioned, Brett finding 3 kills in this round. The opening, the second, and of course the third through the smoke for a little bit of luck. The newest player to the squad already paying dividends for Detonate.
Brett, when I saw that was going to be the pickup, I said it was going to be a good move. I mean, it makes sense. He adds a much needed bit of firepower to this Detonate squad. Him and Micro leading the charge is what you would expect. And it's given Freshie a bit of a chance to take a backseat, too. Because Freshie was the star fragger for this Detonate squad. But this takes a lot of the pressure off Freshie. Freshie actually hasn't had to do all that much. Had that big clutch early on in the game. But then it's been pretty quiet. It's been Micro and Brett pretty much holding the show down. Cryptic's had a couple of moments as well. But it's been good to see somebody other than Freshie at the top of the scoreboard for the Detonate side. And having 3 players, the skill level of Freshie, Micro, and Brett, is going to be really good for the Detonate team moving forward. Gives them a lot more freedom in terms of how they set up on the defense. Gives them a lot more freedom in how they want to roll on the offense. And Brett does like to go for the entries too. So we can expect him to be the tip of the spear a lot more than would otherwise be expected. Cryptic was their previous entry meister. But I think it's going to be good to see Freshie with a little more freedom and what Freshie can do with that ability to not have everything on his shoulders.
Yeah, Freshie has had nothing on his shoulders. This has been a B game through and through for both teams, and he was, of course, playing A in the first half, so he hasn't had to do too much outside of that retake threat. The entries you mentioned before finds a pair of kills. Micro does go down in the meanwhile, and Freshie and Florence are quite fragile, but they do get control of the site. It looks like they are going to send Ironblood packing as well. It was a force buy for the CT side, might I add, so anything they can save here will be relevant in the following round.
It's another save for Ironblood. That's back-to-back saves, and it's almost reminiscent of a Shake Zula called Inferno, Nate. I mean, Shake, if he loses the site, he pretty much saves almost every time. There is a problem with that strategy, though. When the score starts to pile up, gets to 12, 13 rounds, you have to go for the retakes, because you lose any more, you're done. You're out. You're finished. And I think something that needs to happen on Inferno is a bit of a shakeup in the save meta from the CT side. Because you concede so many rounds to the T side, you let their economy get so out of control that, okay, sure, you might have a bye, but what if you win one of those retakes? What if you give yourself a chance to get back into the game a lot earlier? Instead of having to battle back 8-13, 9-13, it gives you a much better chance to nip the lead in the bud early before it becomes a Leviathan.
And I will play devil's advocate here. Maybe that's what changes on Inferno that we've seen. The bigger bomb radius. Now, with that, the CT side can more reasonably go for exit kills. And those exit kills can prevent that economy from running rampant. That could indeed give them the extra opportunity. If they win around with that saved rifle and reset the T-side economy because it's more fragile now, then maybe it is the right call all of a sudden. Either way, we'll have to wait and see if that's the case or not. Here, it's pretty much a save with those 3 hero weapons on this CT side, and they found nothing thus far. A bit of damage on the micro, and I spammed through the smoke for some luck. Dare, though, has all to do. He'll find the first player running through the flames. That was Brett, the dutiful entry you mentioned before, but can he find more? The smoke is fading. No, is the answer. Florence finds him from the side. Too many players to worry about for him, and that leaves just Droid. Again, he's been a shining star for this squad in the first half on the T side, but with only a USP, I can't imagine he'll find anything. Given the timing, he might find a rifle middle, though. It all depends on if Freshie's holding the angle aggressively enough or not. And if Droid can find the rifle, it might be a different situation, but that's not going to be the case. Swing comes through, Freshie gets the spot. And that should be the round. Droid might find Micro low on HP. Not even that. Micro finds the kill with the A4, and Detonate inch ever closer to a victory on their map pick.
4 more rounds to go, and Detonate take 1 away from Ironblood. Well, with Vertigo and Ancient as maps 2 and 3, it's still not exactly a clean veto for the Detonate squad. Maps 2, maps 3 are going to be a lot more contentious than this one. Yes, that one.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, the timing in it!
So good. The A1S does hold it down, though. Snav finds the trade. Droid finds a second. That is now an upgrade for the MP9 wielder. What looked so good for Detonate quickly unravels, because the timing's not quite so good. Brett and Micro used to defending the site, not attacking it. So they both fall. Freshie, though, working in the apartments. He gets out here. He has a little bit of room. Will he expect the player up close left, though, on the jump up? He spots the player Archer instead, and he'll tap away Shane. A nice one to find. The second on site does get one short, but he's quickly traded by Cryptic. Smoke goes down towards Speedway. Snav has a lot to do here. He's trying to play on the smoke. He'll spot the player. He'll find the kill, and that leaves Florence, the IGL. He's done well with the op, but this time he has the AK in hand, and he'll have to clutch up here 1v2. He'll play around the smoke rather cheekily, but he's too paranoid. He's going to go towards Graveyard instead, and with so many angles, can he do it? Can he find the shot? Flash comes in, he spots the first, gets the kill, spots the second as well, swinging, and he'll find it! Florence comes alive when his team needs him the most. The nice 1 versus 2. Clutch and Detonate continue to press forward, continue to find rounds in spite of the adversity, and they now only need 3. Pause called, and I had to guess it's definitely by Ironblood. Their economy is in ruins here on the CT side.
Yeah, it's not good at all. Iron Blood are struggling heavily, and it's been a struggle for the entirety of this map. And it started with that 7-0 streak from Detonate. Iron Blood had 4 chances. 4 chances in those first 4 rounds, where Detonate won with 1 player alive.
Yeah, 4 touch and go rounds, 4 rounds that if any single one of them was lost, it could spell disaster for the CT start of Detonate, and yet every single round went their way. We had some technical issues there, ladies and gentlemen, but we're almost right back into it. There we go. And so we are back into the action. I think it was a tactical pause. We just had some technical issues during it, coincidentally, and we are quickly back into the action. Iron Blood, they are on a half buy here. Some Deagles, a CZ, some MP9s, and really a dream here, realistically speaking. Detonate just running the default AKs across the board, utility, everything they could desire. And they should feel more than comfortable at this stage with their T-side default.
It was actually a Detonate timeout, Nate. So I think Detonate wanted to calm things down and really make sure they don't make any mistakes against the pistols in particular. Because they win this, they're on the fast track to victory. But they lose this round, and they give the opportunity back to Iron Blood to close that gap. So it's a pretty important round for the Detonate squad. This is not done and done by any means. They're flashing through, they're going in. Sprays from Cryptic and Freshie are finding 4, 2 for each. Freshie starting to come alive now. 1 player alive is DROID, and DROID has no mind to even attempt this retake, as he'll just sit on B, hold the line, and not want to waste his armor because Iron Blood still don't have a lot of money. They still do not have a lot of money, and Detonate are ready to make this one go tick, tick, boom, and head on to Vertigo, which is map number 2, 14-7. And it's just been smooth sailing from Detonate there. They handle the pistol stack very well. Good flashes, good swinging together there. That's just how you work against an anti-eco and anti-force spy.
Yep, glad to see Freshie coming alive. Again, we mentioned he was the top frag, kind of the star for this Detonate squad prior to Brett's arrival. It's a little bit different now, of course. In this game, it's not too exemplary of it. It was just straight B hits in that first half, and it just gave Brett and Micro every opportunity to find openings, and most certainly did exactly that, harvesting some stats. But this one is Brett the first to fall for the T side. And I believe, was it Brett that found the opening? It looks like it was. I'm not mistaken. No, it was Freshie, excuse me. Dropping Snav, even trades thus far. 4 versus 4 flashing towards Banana, doesn't matter. Dare, even blinded, finds the kill. Very well placed shot from him. Very well expected. Boy, timing's everything, and he's missed one. He might have spotted the second, but still, like, there's a lot of room to Freshie here as he lurks forward. Might even find a timing on DeShane if he's quick with it.
The crossfire, it's a good entry by Freshie, but Shane's knocked down 2. Low HP Freshie falls to the very same man. Back on site. And that's a big win for Iron Blood. They find a way to stay alive, to stave off map point. They'll try and move forward here. Plenty of money for Detonate, though, to reinvest. They haven't picked up the op on the T side. No real need to on Inferno. I think it's a good idea here for them not to waste the money on the op, and I do use that word correctly, waste. I think most of the time the op is a waste on the T side, and on this map in particular, on Inferno, the op on T side is generally a waste. And Detonate, they've realized that they're not investing into that gun. They're going back for the rifles, a little more fluidity to go behind their T-side takes. And they're going to challenge the op of DARE, but this time they're going to chuck some utility at him. Take him down to 61, now to 15 HP. DROID also eats that. Brett only tagged through the half wall, so that's pretty solid engagement overall. The unconfirmed damage for Iron Blood far paled in comparison to Detonate's. And they're just going to get ready to full-on blitzkrieg this B site, Nate. Combined 48 HP between these two players on site.
The op, though, doesn't need to worry about his HP. Find one and fall away. That's the game. It doesn't matter, though. Freshie finds that. DROID only 1 for 1. Low HP as well. Haunts him. And that is the site taken. 3 versus 4. At this point, Iron Blood have to go for it, right? They have Snav so close. It feels like, just given the scoreline they're on the road, they have to try and do something. Snav desperately spams in hopes of finding an opening, hopes of finding the stars aligning in the right time. It's not meant to be. He'll swing a nice start, finding the first over towards that 1 versus 1. forward. He finds one through the smoke. A second up for Snav. Micro just want to trade via Intra, and Cryptic a second, though. It leaves Snav to clutch. He finds the first, the second. He finds it as well. It's 2 huge rounds in a row for Snav. He found 3 on the A site, and now the 1 versus 2. 4K in the clutch to keep this team alive. 9-14, still trailing by 5, but given a performance like that, I'd say anything is possible for Iron Blood.
This is why I highlighted the individuals in the beginning of this whole site and this whole show. The individuals in Iron Blood are very, very good. They can pull off plays like that. And that is going to be a huge kick in the pants for against Detonate. That is going to kill a lot of their momentum. Florence is going for the op now, too. This is going to be dangerous. If he goes down with it without getting a single kill, it's going to be a very expensive investment that comes to no ROI. Utility to flush out the sandbags, player nobody there, and no peek from corner either. Brett eating a lot of utility from the double nades thrown banana from the CT side, and a lot of B pressure again from Detonate. Both these two teams content to put a lot of pressure towards that banana and the B site, although Detonate a little more apt to leave a lurker towards the A side of things instead. Iron Blood pretty much just 5-man to banana most of the time. Detonate, they have a little more versatility with their overall takes.
Is that an intended smoke?
I think no.
It looks like a one-way for the jump up.
Maybe. Unless it was a missed stairs smoke.
I'm not sure. Either way, it's Snav to find the opening. And over towards banana. But the T side, the bulk of the play is over towards A. I say that the bomb is falling back, though. It is going to go towards B. There is still this lurk over towards the arch. Micro flashes himself in, doesn't find the kill. It's Intro instead, actually, the team flash. For the CT side to go over that peak. Florence, though, through the smoke, finds Droid, and maybe an opportunity. Florence a second on the entry. Both B-side defenders taken down in one fell swoop. We mentioned the op being a difficult weapon to wield on this T side, and Florence is making it sing. He spots the 30, doesn't hit the shot, but he's already done his job. Freshie, he goes in, though, and he gives it away. He gives opportunity, the advantage back to the CT side. Florence has it all to do. He'll find one, but he'll be traded, and that leaves Cryptic. He has been a huge rock for the squad, one of the core. Can he pull off the 1 versus 2? That's the question. The answer is no. Shane, a double dink to send him to the grave, and Iron Blood again coming back from the brink.
Florence does it all to get the team the bomb plant out of that round. The first with the smoke, then entering like a rifler with the op into the player CT. That's not really replicable, though. That's the only problem. You're not going to be getting that out of an op 9 times out of 10. Florence puts the team in his backpack, but his backpack wasn't enough for the round, and Iron Blood closing that gap to only 4 rounds. A little more time left on the clock here for Iron Blood. They buy an extra life, and it's Tech 9's up against them now. It's the full Tech 9 play from Detonate. Surely they're going to go in for the all-in rush. Try and get the headshots. Try and get the rifle upgrades. Those nades are so impactful. So much damage. A Molotov thrown to stymie the push. They cannot afford to rush to the fire of the flames because they will not carry on after that one. It's going to be a mow down here for Droid and company. Snav, but Droid now has to lined up. One roasts the fire. Snav picks up a second. Injuries come through for support. The Tech 9s find 0, despite Snav and Droid being on 1 and 3 HP respectively. 3 rounds between the two teams, and no timeout from Detonate.
This would be the time to call it. Iron Blood on the cusp of a come up, on the cusp of a comeback. They win this. It's 12-14. No bomb plant means it will be most certainly a save for Detonate. They'll only get 13, and they're pretty much dead even, all things considered. So somehow Iron Blood have managed to pull it off. Their CT side has impressed me thus far. Those A4s adding some much needed firepower, I would say. Shane specifically looking incredibly good with it. But everybody shining. Snav as well. Detonate. They don't have the op on Florence, but they do have AKs. They do have decent-ish utility. 2 smokes, some flashes. Cryptic looking to trade in with Micro, finds a pair of kills in response. Shane now has it all to do. He's been a star with the M4, but it'll only be good for 1. A nice dink onto Cryptic, but that does not secure the kill. That leaves just Shane and Droid, or Snav and Droid, excuse me, left to retake. They're running down banana. Question is, will they attempt it or will they hold for exits? I think they should go for it, all things considered. With Cryptic as low as he is, they know he's down to 10 HP or thereabouts because of the dink. Can they find the timing? Can they find the kills? It's a very solid post plant for Detonate, but does Brett know they're up the middle? That's the question. How he most certainly does with that Molotov. Up top of sight, finds his one, and Brett finds the timing on the second. 15 for Detonate. They finally put the pieces together. Now they have 4 map points.
4 map points, but there's still a buy up for Ironblood. This isn't going to be free for Detonate. Not in the slightest. There's still overtime possibility. Getting to 11 before the opposition gets to 15, it's still a viable comeback opportunity. Especially on the CT side, 4 rounds in a row is not out of the picture. So I think Ironblood, they're still in okay territory. It's not great, obviously. You don't want to be down at this point in time. But you're still not out of the woods. You're still not completely under the gun here. They're able to, at the very least, have a reasonable opportunity to take this one to overtime. And overtime is the map, or Inferno is the map that favors overtime. Inferno, overtime, they go hand in hand. They're very interchangeable. And Detonate are going to try to avoid that. Their money's not great either. It's a swing round where Ironblood can win this and kind of reset Detonate again, which is an opportunity they would be remiss to pass up. It's a bit of a bonus, a little extra for winning this round. Brett spots the foot of Dare, though. And he's got the headshot onto him. Good opening kill for the Detonate squad. It looks like they're committing to the B site, and Droid is there. There's no utility at all. No utility at all for Ironblood here. It's all down to the rifle.
Flash, that's why he's playing here, but it's really on an island. He has to win the duels cleanly, or he's just missed me. That's exactly what he turns out to be. Clean take now. Sure, a kill to the smoke for Snav, but a 4 versus 3, or rather a 3 versus 4 for the CT side in the retake. It seems near impossible, especially given the situation. They have a kit, sure, but no utility, and 2 FAMASs. This is a big ask. Snav swinging in, finds the first nice shot with the A1S, but still a lot more to do. Shane finds the second up top. Shane at third after he gets boosted up. That's a massive therapy kill to find for him, and that leaves Freshie in the clutch. 1 versus 3. He'll find the first. Here's Pat, though. He has the challenge. A second, not the third, though. Good combined fire, but still, it was a valiant attempt from Freshie. Nearly finding the 1 versus 3, but close is only good enough in horseshoes and hand grenades. It's going to be Snav to win the round for the squad, and now a quick pause coming in, I'm assuming from the likes of Detonate, but it could realistically be from Ironblood. Okay, it is from Detonate. You do have the confirmation. This is the timely pause called here. They are able to get an investment. Kevlar, AK's decent enough utility, but Ironblood as well. They will have a solid buy.
They will have a solid buy. I mean, Ironblood's buy is not going to be great because they lost 4 out of 5. They're going to be on a couple of weaker guns here.
I was going to say A1Ss, they could pull them off without utility, but let's be honest, everybody's using the A4, and you need utility. Shane, he's going to go for the A4. He's been quite hot on that weapon, so he'll go for just the smoke and the rifle. I can respect that call. Droid as well, selflessly going for the MP9 for that utility, and Detonate, honestly, barring winning the round, that was the best case scenario. They at least made it as expensive as can be, while getting the bomb plant to give themselves some extra money. This is still a rather solid situation for them. Granted, they do have some Galils, they have utility, and full rifles against an MP9 for Droid.
The lack of utility for Ironblood really stands out. A $1.26 to go, 3 flashes, a nade, now 2 flashes, a nade, and Molotov. There is almost no utility to speak of for Ironblood here. And Detonate, they've got plenty. They're tossing their utility for their smoke 8 take. They're clearing up the site. 1 trade onto the site. Secondary flashbang coming through from Micro. Lets Cryptic get 2. Shane does strike for 1, but only 1. 3v2 as the bomb goes down on the A site. The hardest site to retake in this game of Counter-Strike. Droid has the Molotov. Here's going to go through the smoke at Moto. He gets caught for 1, and Micro doubles down for the last. That's going to be all she wrote on map number 1, taken by Detonate. 16-12. It got a little bit scary, a little bit messy for the Detonate squad down the line, but they still converted in the end. And it all started with that 7-round streak to their CT side.
A massive start again. We mentioned it. Touch and go for the first 4. Only 1 player surviving in each of those rounds, but they won them nonetheless. And from there,